From lynching and Jim Crow laws to the war on drugs and redlining to urban renewal and gentrification, the security of African American communities has been tested time and time again. These attacks and abuses, however, have not crushed African American communities. It is through an inner force of everyday citizens mitigating outside abuses that communities have weathered the storm of discrimination and inequality. Guardianship and stewardship within African American neighborhoods has been carried out and sustained greatly through close-knit communities, especially those of women and mothers. During the 20th century, African American women organized to improve daily life in schools and neighborhoods, along with providing health care through work in women's clubs. In Asheville, African American women's clubs such as the African American Flower Mission and the Faithful Unforgettable Club visited and helped the sick members of their community. When discussing the state of poor inner-city African American neighborhoods, too much are they seen as communities in need, while in reality residents are working non-stop to combat the hurdles and hardships thrown at them. Harsh environments undermine families in many ways. However, families and extended kin networks have become adept at dealing with and thriving in rough waters. Women-centered kin networks in poor African American communities often stem from the birth of children and incorporate many different individuals related through family and marriage as well as friendship. Kin networks are usually composed of family members living in the same area. These groups function to help combat issues stemming from living in poverty, as well as the hardships that come with life. One of the major functions of kin networks is the pooling of resources. Living in poverty means that there is very little security when it comes to the basic necessities of life. The pooling of resources can be in the form of money, food stamps, shared living arrangements, meals, and needed items for children. By members sharing resources, the movement of these particular items helps guard against any one individual going without. Along with the tangible pooling of resources, there's an intangible pooling as well. This is in the form of caregiving, domestic tasks, and transportation. People within the kin network can rely on other members to watch over them or their loved ones when they are in need in exchange for providing care for other members of the kin network. The same goes for things such as cooking, cleaning, and grocery shopping. Transportation is another major resource, which can be obtained through kin networks. As many people living in poverty do not own cars, it can be difficult to complete certain errands, obtain employment, get to doctor's appointments, or do many other needed things. Another intangible and very important aspect is the emotional support and sociability achieved through kin networks. In poor neighborhoods and public housing, there can be distress between neighbors due to illegal activity. Therefore, place-based social connections between neighbors may be absent in poorer neighborhoods. Not only do members of kin networks find support in everyday contact, like having conversations and taking walks together, many families partake in more elaborate social interactions like monthly gatherings and planned activities. In the Burton Street Community Peace Gardens, the sense of community love and kin networking is tangible. During a tour given by Burton, the main artist of many of the sculptures and the driving force behind much of the Peace Garden, Dwayne showcased two amazing artists, one a musician and the other a slam poet. This collaboration between artists and Dwayne is just one example of current extended kin functionings in the Burton Street community. The Burton Street Community Peace Garden and the Community Food Garden both showcase the give and take of kin functioning in community. Looking back on the history of Burton Street, one can see the importance of the guardianship role within this community. In an effort to curb drug activity in the neighborhood, over 200 local community members of Burton Street and Greater West Asheville held a protest on September 4, 1993. The community members marched through areas with great concentrations of drug activity along Burton Street, Boyd Avenue, and Bryant Street. As well as community members' efforts to guard against destructive drug activities, residents of Burton Street have worked together to revitalize the community center and to make other neighborhood improvements.